Thank you for joining. We'll wait for some time to allow participants to join in. Till then, a couple of housekeeping checks. If you can hear me clearly, I request you to please type in yes in the chat box window. Throughout our presentation, we encourage you to interact with our speakers by typing in questions and comments using the questions pane. We try to answer as many questions as possible in our Q&A section, which will be after the presentation. Also, there's a special offer for webinar attendees. Let's wait another 1 or 2 minutes. We can have some more participation joining in. I would like to repeat again, if you can hear me clearly, I request you to please type in yes in the chat box window. There are lots of yeses coming up. Okay, yeah, I think you can hear me clearly. Okay, let's begin with it. First of all, on behalf of Harbinger Systems, a warm welcome to all of you. Good morning and good afternoon. I am Ishan Sarpotar, digital content writer for marketing at Harbinger Systems, and the host for today's UI/UX best practices in CMS-based web design webinar. Let me run through a quick introduction with our distinguished speaker for today's session, Kirti Wag, who is also the Associate Project Manager at Harbinger Systems. Kirti has 14 years of rich experience in web designing and web development. Her experience spans across the various domains such as asset management, human capital management, fashion, and photography, along with e-learning and etc. Kirti is involved in creating accelerators and frameworks for UI solutions at Harbinger Systems as well.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, that was Kirti. Let me run through the agenda quickly for today's webinar. We would be talking about the content management system, what CMS is all about. Then we touch base on the importance of UI/UX and CMS-based design. We will also talk about the standard template method that we have for CMS, and we will also touch base on the custom template method as well. Then we have the best practices, Harbinger's best practices for template standard and the custom template that we have for CMS. Then we have special recommendations, as in what Harbinger recommends if you're having a CMS. Moving on with the special offer, and then ending it with the question and answer session. Okay, so without further ado, let us begin with this insightful webinar about UI/UX and the best practices for CMS-based design. Kirti will take it ahead from here.
Thank you, Ishan. We have been hearing a lot about the content management system, or known as CMS, being used to develop a website. When we can derive the same output with a custom development, why should we choose a CMS? And why has it become so popular? This is a basic question that would come to your mind before choosing any CMS. So let us take a quick look at what is CMS and what are the benefits of choosing it. In simple words, a content management system is a simple and quick way to develop a website. A CMS is generally selected when a client is looking for a faster development that includes less design phase with the facility to manage content. CMS can be called as a package which provides a complete solution from ideation to implementation, which also takes care of the end-to-end business needs. Let us see some of the widely used CMS in the market. WordPress. It started as a blogging site and now can pretty much do anything. Joomla. It is a general CMS for developing websites. Drupal, which is an enterprise and intranet based CMS with enhanced security. Then we have Magento, Zencart, Shopify, and PrestaShop, which are e-commerce based. With CMS, we can achieve quick development and deployment. It provides easy design capabilities. We have the control of end-to-end site management. It is easy for a non-technical user to manage. It increases the SEO performance, and it provides high-end engagement with online content. Now, let us move to the benefits of CMS. Create. We can add new pages, sections, menus, resources such as images, documents, video, and content. Manage. The content management facility provides us an easy way to edit the content, format the content, and manage the site without the fear of accidentally changing the design. Implement. Ready code and templates are available that are easy to implement and integrate for various CMS platforms. Branding. Design templates provide a consistent branding and standard navigation. CMS is database driven, which means you change the data at once and it will be updated throughout the site. Shared resources. Website managers have access to the shared resources such as modules, images, audio, and video files. Security and approval systems. You can give access to different levels of users, and CMS has a mechanism to ensure that the content is approved before going live, having onboard security system. Mobile ready. Almost all the templates available are mobile compatible. Search engine friendly. CMS helps to optimize your website so that the search engine users can easily find your content. So, to summarize, the main reason for using a CMS is to make creating and editing of content simple and easy. A good CMS will allow you to spend more time focused on the design of the front end than on implementing the extensions or functionality. This also reduces the development efforts and hence the cost. We have seen how CMS is a fast and cost-effective solution compared to a custom development. Now, along with a good CMS, we need a good design to engage our customers. And to achieve a good design, we need strong UI/UX. So, UI/UX plays an important role in CMS-based design. Let us see how this happens. The screen shows a basic template that a CMS provides. If you look at the design, it is following the basic UI/UX guidelines. Like, it has a well-defined footer, header and footer. It has a structured navigation. It has a banner, a section for testimonials, a section for promoting your advertisements, and few content sections with graphics. It has a well balance of graphics and visuals and colors on the design. So, with this basic template, I can develop a website with a basic design. But if we want to give a unique touch to the design for a specific customer, then we have to enhance the design by adding more UI/UX values. How can we achieve this? Let us see another example. The design that you can see on the screen, if you look at it carefully, we can come to know that this design is meant for a specific age group or for a specific user, that is children or kids. If you see at the structure of the design, it is almost similar to the structure that we saw in the earlier design, which has a header, a footer, a navigation, a banner, and few content sections. So what is it that is adding value in this design? What is it that is making a wow factor in this design? Definitely, it is the colors, the graphics that has been used. So if you see, taking or considering the target user as kids, the designer has thought of adding bright colors, creative aspects, more of graphics, which will be attracting the kids, appealing them to stay on the site. So a designer has to think how to engage the customer or the user on the site. Now let us take a look at another example. This is a basic design which has a header with navigation and 4 sections. Now this design was enhanced for a customer who was into content sharing. If you again look at the design, it is of a similar structure, but we have customized the design to match the client requirement, to match the brand of the client requirement. So we have changed the colors, the look and feel. The 4 sections have been reduced to 3 sections, making it more powerful, more emphasizing, and giving it a look of a simple but a powerful design. Now let us take a look at this example. We can see 2 templates, 2 designs on the screen. The design on the left hand side is a standard design or a template that was downloaded, whereas a design on the right hand side is the enhanced version of this design. So this, while designing, coming up with this design, the target user was an educational domain. So the colors and the graphics, the position of the content, the placement of the sections have been decided based on the domain. If you see, the structure again remains the same, but the overall look and feel, the overall UI has been enhanced. So this is the power of UI/UX. Understanding the importance of UI/UX in more detail, we saw that how demography plays a role. So while creating a design, it is important that you understand the target audience, the target user. You have to understand what is the age group of the user so that you can focus on the specific aesthetics. Along with this, we have to also understand what are the features that the CMS provides, because UI/UX approach will change based on these features. As we discussed earlier, we should understand the domain for which we are developing the site. And lastly, but not the least, the scope of customization. Every CMS provides a specific scope of customization, which we have to understand. Because if we cross this limit of customization, then we'll lead to custom development. And definitely we are not choosing the CMS for custom development. UI/UX approach differs for various domains, for various CMS. It means that an approach that would be taken for a WordPress CMS would be different than for a Magento. So WordPress is a CMS that allows you to create a blogging site or a simple corporate site, whereas Magento is a CMS which will allow you to develop a e-commerce site. So definitely the features, the compatibility that these two CMS are providing are different, and so the UI/UX approach will also be different. So going ahead, there are two ways in which we can implement the design. Either we can choose a standard template or we can go for a custom template. Now, before we go and understand what these separate approaches are, there are few common things that are applicable to both of them. Such as, before choosing any of these, we have to first select the framework. Then it is important that the design that the template that we are selecting or the design that we are creating are matching all the requirements of the client and the framework. Now let us take a look at the standard template. When we go for standard template, there is a huge variety of designs available in market. So some of them are free and some of them are paid. These designs do follow the basic UI/UX guidelines, as we have seen in the examples earlier. These templates are available with HTML and CSS, and some of them are responsive also, which use Bootstrap as a basic framework. We also have templates which are available for specific frameworks, and when we choose a framework specific template, it is compatible to the features, so it is easy to implement, integrate and manage them. It may happen that two sites look alike because they are using the same template. So this was an overview of a standard template. Let us take a look at few examples. In this example, you can see a standard template on the left hand side and a customized template on the right hand side. So when we go for a standard template, we should make sure that the structure is not changing. So in the example, you can see that the banner, the solution section or the gallery post, so these sections are kept as it is, but they are enhanced with a good UI. Now, as this particular design has been created for a specific domain or a specific user, the graphics, the colors, the icons, everything are thought of in a way that will appeal that particular target user. Let us see another example. In this example, you can see we have two templates. One is the default standard template, and the other template on the right hand side is the one which was customized on a very minimum basis for a particular target user. So as the need or the requirement of the user was or the customer was very basic, we can see the change is only in terms of colors, graphics and content. Otherwise they look alike. There is another example. It may happen sometimes that we are using a standard template, but a particular feature that a CMS is providing is not a part of that design. In that case, we would add that plugin and we would customize it. So in the example shown on the screen, we can see that this is a calendar plugin that is provided by the CMS, and it has a basic look and feel, a basic UI. But when it was integrated as a part of the design, it was enhanced to a UI to match the theme of the design. So these are a few examples where we have seen that in standard templates, a minimum level of customization takes place. The process that is followed for standard template is very simple. That is, we select a template, we change the branding and images as per the client requirement. We add pages, navigation and content. We deploy the changes on the server and the website is ready. Therefore, we see that a template-oriented approach is sometimes the best option if the project is simple. For example, a corporate site. The consideration here is that the template sites are significantly less expensive and they are quick to implement. Now let us take a look at the custom template. When we go for a custom template, we have the liberty to create a design, to pitch in our own ideas. We can add the UI UX value based on the scope of customization. So as we have seen earlier that every CMS has a particular scope of customization and it is important to understand that scope. And based on that scope, a designer can decide till what level he can customize a particular basic template. The knowledge of framework is very important. Before starting the design, it is important that we study the framework that we are going to develop the site for. So if the framework is compatible to only specific features, we should think about only those features to be implemented in our design. The design we come up should be easy to integrate and implement. Here CSS plays a major role and we will see how it works. We can achieve a unique design because we are adding our own values, our own ideas. And as we are adding our own values and ideas, it definitely consumes more effort. Let us take a look at some examples of custom-based templates. So, in this example, you can see a standard template on the left side and the customized version on the right hand side. Don't you see a big difference here? If you see, the position of the elements have been changed. So in this example, for example, the banner is positioned here and the navigation is at the top. But in the customized version, the banner is at the top and the navigation has been shifted down. Similarly, these sections, these are vertical, but in the customized version, we have made it horizontal. So you can see a better version here. So we have seen that there were a few structural changes that have taken place. Now see this example. Here we can see a basic WordPress theme design and see how it has been enhanced for e-learning domain. Now if you watch carefully, you can see that the structure has been maintained similar. So a banner is present here also and we also have a banner here, but there is a value addition in terms of the colors, in terms of the graphics. The navigation is simple, but here if you can see, the navigation is bright with relevant graphics. Also, the content sections are made interactive. So this is a better version. So we can see how the navigation has been transformed into a very interactive navigation with bright colors and graphics. Also, the sections are made very interactive and creative aspects have been added. Now we look at this design, which we have seen earlier. So this is the basic template that was provided by the CMS, and this is the enhanced version. See the great difference. Though the structure is similar, you cannot make out that this kind of a design, a creative design, can be achieved from a basic template like this. So this is the power of UI UX. You can add a lot of values when you go for a custom template. So going towards the process of how we implement a custom template, as we have seen earlier, the study of framework is very important. So the process of implementation starts with the study of framework. So it is important that you understand the features, the compatibility of the framework, and then come up with the design. Once you have come up with the design, you select a default template which is closest matching to the design. Then you modify the CSS and template. So if the changes are only at a level, there are no structural changes, then only the CSS can be modified and the custom design can be achieved. But if the sections have been changed, the position of the sections has been changed, then it is required that we also change the structure of the template. So we modify the CSS and the template, we customize the template, and then we have to integrate the template. After that, we have to add the pages, navigation, content, resources, deploy the changes, and the website is ready for use. Now we have seen the importance of UI UX. With the importance, there are few best practices that we should follow for both of these methods. So let us take a look at what are the best practices. In a standard template, it is important that we do not change the layout or structure of the template. So we should adhere to the structure of the template that is provided by the base template or the standard template. So this will help us in reducing the development efforts. Then we can definitely change the branding of the template to match the client's branding. We can have the images and the graphics and the colors and the content modified as per the client requirement to make it look or to make it specific to that particular client. So once the branding is changed, we can add or edit the content, images as per the client requirement. So this is one of the quickest way to build a site using portal. Coming to the best practices in custom template. So in a custom template, as we have seen, it is very important to understand the framework functionality. So in the example below, we can see that a newsletter sign up is a plugin that is provided by this framework. So if a framework is providing only one input, for example email, as an input for sign up of newsletter, then we should adhere to that. And if the designer shows that it has 3 fields, so there is a gap. So sometimes to meet this gap, we have to customize the plugin, we have to customize the CMS components, which is not desirable. Then maintaining the consistency in design is very important. So same sections on the different pages should look same. So once we have defined how the section would look, what should be the style of the section, what should be the style of the font, or the way the color is moving on the site, that should be kept consistent throughout the site. So in the example, you can see that there is a blog section. So on one page, the title of the blog is small, whereas on the other page, it is big. So this is an inconsistency in the design. Once the section is on the design, it is defined in the CMS also, and the same section is called for all the pages. So without understanding this compatibility, if we design something like this, then we have to write extra code. We have to write extra CSS to achieve this output. Similarly, if you see these examples, we have two sections highlighted here. So let us see the request demo section first. So if you can see on the left hand side, the section is positioned at the bottom, whereas on the right hand side, it is at the top. So this again is an inconsistency. So the position of a section, once defined, should stay same throughout the site. Similarly, the structure of a section, for example, the FAQ section here is 2 columns, whereas here it is just 1 column. Again, this is possible, but it increases your development efforts, it increases your time, and indirectly it increases your cost. Now, when we are designing a custom template, we may have to design few features or few functionality which is not a part of the framework, but the customer has demanded. So when we are customizing the plugin, we have to study it. We have to study the compatibility of the plugin within the framework. It should be easy to integrate and manage later. So in the example, you can see this is a banner of a website, and this is the description text. So this is a pattern that a designer has come up for the description text. So the basic template that was used for integrating this design provided a very basic level of description text, or the basic style for the description text. So to enhance it and to make it as per the design, a plugin was created, a separate plugin was created, and we had to actually create a form to take these inputs, because it has to be editable, it has to be manageable by the user. So when we have to customize a plugin, we have to create a plugin, we have to think of all these aspects, that how a user can use it, how user friendly it would be for the user to edit the content going ahead, and how compatible it would be with the framework. So when all these aspects are thought of, we can go ahead for a customized plugin. So these were some of the examples for best practices for custom templates. Based on our experience, we have few recommendations. So when to choose a standard template? So we should go for a standard approach when the client has less time, but he wants a quick development in less time. Then he has minimum needs or minimum requirements on the design level, on the functionality level. He is ready to follow or to add the features that the standard features that a CMS is providing, and is looking for a cost efficient solution. So this is the best approach to go ahead with. For choosing a custom template approach, it should be chosen when the client is looking for a unique design. He is looking for an exceptional user experience, and he also wants the CMS facility. That is, he also wants the facility to manage, edit, add the contents, and there is no major cost or time limitation involved. Along with this, it is recommended that we generally go for a design which has 30 to 40% available in the standard template, and 60 to 70% is customized. So when we think of a startup ISV, the priority of a startup ISV is to get the business started, is to get the communication started. So for a startup ISV, it is recommended that they can go for a template approach, a standard template approach, where they can select a simple but a powerful design, and that would also give them a cost-efficient solution. Whereas when we talk about the enterprise ISV, so here they will be looking to achieve more business, and to engage more customers, we need a good user experience. So enterprise ISV would be recommended to go for a custom approach, where they have all the access to the rich CMS features, and a custom design would help them to take the user experience to a next level. So for example, if a CMS is providing a payment gateway facility, a custom design would help them to define the process or to define the steps in a very user-friendly way. Finally, I think irrespective of the whether we select a template, standard template approach, or the custom template approach, it is important that we understand the value addition of a good user interface and user experience to engage the customers from the business perspective.
Thank you, Kirti. That was an insightful session on the UI/UX best practices for CMS-based design. Okay, so now the moment that we were all waiting for, we have a special offer for all the webinar attendees. Our UI/UX experts will provide 1 hour of free consultation in which you'll get tips or the best tips for rich user experience and user interface. Please email us with your queries at hsinfo@harbingergroup.com. Okay. The offer is that attendees would be happy to know this. So moving on with the question answer round. So we'll be taking questions from the audience now. I remind you once again, if you have any queries, please type in the questions pane, which is provided on the app itself. If due to time constraints, we are not able to cover your questions in today's sessions, we'll definitely send you the Q&A document covering answers to all the questions that have been raised today. So get up, get typing, and let us know what your queries are. Okay, Kirti, I think we have questions coming in from the audience, and there are lots of them. They just keep on coming. So I'm going to select a couple of them and I'll read out to you, and you can maybe answer them. Okay. So here's the first question now. This question says, how to choose a template, and could you recommend some good resources available to choose a template? Yeah.
Okay. A template, a template is selected, based on the customer requirement.
Okay.
So you may ask your client who is the target user, or what is the domain that you are developing the site for. So sometimes a customer himself tells us that he wants to develop the site in a particular CMS. So in that case, I think it becomes easy for us to select a template, because we know what we are looking for. And about resources, I think there are many sites available that provide CMS specific templates. So some of them are Theme Forest, Template Monster, Moto CMS, Free CMS templates, and many more.
Yeah, that answers well. I can vouch for Theme Forest, so pretty good templates on that side.
Yeah.
So here's another one. So what does it say? It says like, how do we overwrite a custom design on a base template design?
Okay. So So when we say, when we say you override the custom design, what it actually means is that you modify the CSS and the template structure to achieve the custom design. So I suggest that it is always a good practice to retain the base template CSS and create a new CSS for custom template and define your own classes or override the classes there.
Yeah, that's quite good one. That's a good one. Yeah. So I guess we can take one more one. So is it a good practice to add new or customized plugins in CMS? I'll repeat the question again. Is it a good practice to add new or customized plugin in the CMS?
Okay, that's a good question. I would not say that it is a good practice or a bad practice. See, this completely depends on the requirement of the design and the functionality. So adding a custom plugin, as we have seen, needs extra development efforts, right? So if the client is fine with the timelines and the cost involved, I think you should go definitely for it.
Yeah, I mean custom templates are way better than the standard ones.
Yeah, right? I mean we have seen how it has transformed the template from a basic level to a higher level.
Yeah.
We have given a exceptional user experience in the custom based template.
Yeah, in my experience, the cost is high, but it does pay off because you get all the options on the CMS.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm getting a unique design with the facility to manage my site, nothing like that. I mean, I will be going for it.
That's a good one there. Okay, now looking at the time, I think we can squeeze in one more question, Kirti. Will that do?
Yes.
Okay, so I have another one. It says, I have a very basic knowledge of HTML and CSS. So will I be able to download and create a custom template on my own? Hold on, I'll just repeat the question for you. I have a very basic knowledge of HTML and CSS. So will I be able to download and create a custom template on my own?
Okay.
That's a big one.
I think a straight answer is no, because I mean you might need a help of a HTML expert. See, because it needs HTML and CSS expertise to modify the CSS and the structure of a template. So, for example, if you have changed the structure of your custom design, then you should understand the basic template structure.
Okay. Yeah.
So that you can go and make the relevant changes. And if the template is responsive, then you should know, where to make the changes in the CSS for different media queries.
Okay.
So this is challenging many a times, because it happens that many times when we are overwriting the base templates CSS and structure, sometimes the CSS conflict or the JavaScript conflict. So in these cases, we have to take care that we are overwriting the properties very nice, comfortably. I mean, we are making sure that the properties are overwritten properly.
Okay.
So overwriting is a very big, so as I said, CSS plays a major role in custom design.
That was one of the slides.
Yeah.
Okay, so that answers the question as well. So I guess we are running out of time. So what we can do is we can wait for the attendees to send us questions offline. We'll take them offline and give the answers back. So we'll be sending a Q&A document to all your attendees. So all you need to do is fill up your question, have your queries, and send it to us at hsinfo@harbingergroup.com. Okay, so once again, I would like to highlight a special offer for webinar attendees. So our UI experts are out there. We'll provide you 1 hour of free consultation in which you'll get tips and the steps for rich user experience and user interface. Email us at hsinfo@harbingergroup.com. Okay, that's about it. So today's webinar has been recorded, and everyone will receive an email with a link to view the recording of the webinar along with the Q&A document. As mentioned, this Q&A document will have your queries sorted, and we will reply back to you. Also, don't forget to avail the offer of free UI UX. just write to us. Again, the email address is hsinfo@harbingergroup.com. With this, we conclude today's session. Once again, thank you all for joining us and have a great day ahead. Thank you all. Thanks, Kirti.
Thank you.